Okay, so I'm going to do a little video here just to show you what's going on a bit with settings on the car. Right now I have your settings on the car. Sebring setup, basic, just everything there, 82. Intensity doesn't matter, we're not using auto, smoothing at 0. Steering, all the settings in VRS are all what they were that you gave me. So here's what's happening with this. So get in the car, we get started. What's happening here is that your steering settings are so light at the moment that you can literally overturn the car. See right there, I'm just scrubbing the tires because I can actually just overturn it without issue. And the other thing is when you start to be able to do that, what you do is you're ending up going in and out of being in that over state. See right there? I couldn't feel anything going on because all I'm doing is slipping the tires. The car's giving no feedback at that point because you're already beyond the slip angle of the tires themselves. And it's very easy to do when you have very low strength settings. And I can literally do this with one hand, couple fingers, I need to shift. But it's quite easy to do. And it also allows you to get on the throttle really quick and leave it. Because you are now already beyond the maximum grip of the car. When you hit the throttle, all it's going to do is, as it kicks the back end out, the car is going to actually slow down a bit and then catch the maximum grip of the tire and then loop you around really easily. So what I'll do is I'll come back in here and, oops, wrong window. In options, I'll just move this up or move the max force down, which increases the force. So we were at 81, 82, and that makes it 0.2 to 1 or so. If we go to like 40, we're basically doubling your strength pretty much at the wheel. Now when I do this, and I go out of the pits, the strength is much, much higher. See, I can't turn so easily. And I can't really get to the point of oversteering the car without it actually gripping and telling me the car is not doing what it's supposed to do. See, like just gets loose. It doesn't snap when I get to that point. So like once I have both hands on the wheel and can get back on the track, and get it moving in a straight line, because the tires are all dirty. What the car is doing right now is it's telling me everything that I don't need to turn the steering wheel that much to actually get this car to turn. So I come in here and I can turn the wheel with one hand. But see, when it got loose, I can have the ability to touch it because the car now is not going right to maximum grip because the wheel is staying more planted where it should be. Like here I could go loose, and that I did over throttle it. Let's just get back around here. Let's get this going again. But basically the settings with them being so light that you have it, the car doesn't communicate once you go beyond a certain turning point, and it's so easy to overturn the wheel. Like I'm barely turning the wheel at all right now. Like I could probably drive this whole course one-handed because the car is telling me where to stop the wheel. I'm just using the throttle and the brakes to actually decide where it's to turn. So like I'm stabilizing the wheel because it might go into oscillation. But like right here, oh, got downshift. So that's all just bumps and stuff, but I'm not actually, the car's not changing direction. I'm just letting it do what it needs to do. See, like I'm just letting it do what it needs to do. And this is telling me I only need to turn so much, and I can correct. There I was understeering a bit, so I had to let it come in to the car. This is the hardest turn to do one-handed. But you'll see I only turned the wheel really 90 degrees to get around that corner. It's not much. This is probably at about 0.4 to 1 on the specific output. And you can see the car saying, ooh, I'm oversteering right there. I just let the car do what it is, got off the gas, let the car do what it needed to do, and there I didn't turn it quite enough, but I'm basically letting the car dictate what I'm supposed to be doing here, because I have enough strength there to be able to let the car just tell me, okay, I'm oversteering, I'm understeering, I need to put a little more input into me, or whatever it ends up being. Let me see what I can do here without actually using two hands. And really, when I'm using two hands, I'm just lightly holding the wheel, not really letting it do anything absolutely insane. I can give it a little bit more grip. There, understeer, a little bit oversteer, lots of oversteer, and of course I lose it. That was just throttle application. But I'll go back to the 81 and I'll show you what the difference is when I'm actually driving with one hand. Keep going to setup because I just normally go to setup. 81, 82, somewhere in there. We'll do 80. It's close enough. It's almost not going to be that far off of what it is. But I'll go out of here and do a couple of laps one-handed. And you'll see it doesn't. I mean, I can more easily do this because, yeah, it's less force at the wheel. It does make it easy to drive around. There's a lot of understeer, but that's one thing. I didn't pick up the understeer right away, so it was way easier to just run off corner there. Which this is going to be a lot easier because there isn't as much force. It's like half the force that I was running in the prior run. Whoa! That was oversteering the wheel and letting it get loose, and then it gets maximum grip. A little bit of extra throttle input, but the thing is with that, oops, I totaled the car. I'll just run around with two hands and see what happens here. I'm used to sort of visually driving too a bit, but like right here, I could barely feel the car. It's not really giving me any feedback as to how much grip it has. It just says, okay, I'm pointed somewhat in this direction. It's not really telling me anything. Like, damn, did that again. Because I can't feel it. I don't know what it's wanting to do right there. There's no feeling that just understeers because I've overturned the wheel. Some of these corners, just because you're used to them, you won't end up overturning the wheel. But what the end result is that you end up kind of running a little bit slower through the corner so that you don't get into a situation with, again, understeer without really realizing it. You get into a situation where you kind of underdrive the car because, again, understeer. You underdrive the car because you're afraid you're going to lose it. Because you can't feel what the car is doing, actually. I'm going to see if I can't do a quick lap and then I'll go back to the other just slightly stronger settings. Too low gear right there. A little bit unsure of how much grip I had going through that corner. A little unsure there. Got a little loose. I had to let off. Barely felt the looseness. If I would have kept my foot in it, it would have gone right around. So right now I'm down 0.4, 0.5 on my quick lap, but you can see as I get used to it, I could probably go a lot faster, but because I'll get used to the points where I can't feel the car as much, and I'll get used to how much to turn the wheel. But I don't feel like I can be aggressive at all with this at the moment. I'm like babying it around. Like right there, I lost the front end a bit and the back end, which is natural for that corner, but I can't really feel what the car is doing. So I'm gaining a little bit of time. Do one more lap here. See if I can speed things up a bit. See how I'm sawing at the wheel a bit more? It's because I can't feel what the car is actually doing. I can't lean on the car and have the car tell me what it wants. I keep only going to second gear there for some reason. Don't know why. I should be in first. That's why I got off that corner so slow. A little bit faster lap. Not a ton. Again, have no idea what the grip level is through there. Car's not telling me anything. Did a tiny bit faster. Down to 44.6. Let's see. Upping the strength. Now remember, these are all just your settings, just with different strength levels. So twice as much force. Same settings. And I'll just go out of here full bore. because I know I'm going to be able to feel the car more. Which means this is actually on colder tires too. Okay, maybe I shouldn't go out full bore or full throttle, because it's a little squirrely. Heat up the tires a little bit. You can already hear that I get on the throttle a lot earlier because I'm not concerned about how much grip I have at the front end or the back end for that matter. And it's just all that I can feel what the front end is doing, really. Oops, got locked up the back a little bit. As you can see, I lost some time there. Still running better than my fast lap. That corner is always a little bit tricky because it does get loose there. Lost a bunch of time in that area. Let's see if I can pull it back up. So I know exactly how much grip I have at the front. I know exactly how much grip I have at the rear. Of course, I totally lost a bunch of time there, but I can make mistakes and catch them. This is set for my optimal, so every time I set a fast sector, it actually is going down and showing more time than what it would be for the fast lap. Whoa, I'm in second gear and hit the bump. I should have been in third. That was a bad lap because of that. A little bit understeer there, slowing me out of the corner. About 2/10 down on the fast lap, even though I had the spin at the beginning of the straight. Locked it up a little bit. I'm actually up on my time now. I forgot how fun this car is to drive. I haven't driven it in a while. But I lost a lot of time through there. 4/10 through that sector. That is why third gear is better through that corner than second. So you can actually have time to catch it. Okay, but anyway, that's running that. Just out of curiosity, I am actually going to have the newer VRS software, so it's going to look a little bit different than what you have. I think they released this version. Oops. Come down here, grab this guy. Just so that you could see that all the information was the same as yours. Oh, I don't know why that went to Legacy 4. That should have been optimal. For some reason it saved it Legacy 4, but anyway, those were the settings. So let's go to my profile 1, which you'll see is damping 45, blah blah blah, down. Okay, so I just put those in there. Options, we'll put this at 33, which is where I tend to run it because I've moved things up to 100%. This may be a shock to my system, but because I haven't run this car in a while. So back to full screen mode, test. Okay, let's have some fun with this. This is with my settings. Haven't run this. Actually, this is the first lap I'm running with these settings. Wow, they are heavy. In fact, maybe a bit too heavy, but I did notice that this setup has the, yeah, they're too heavy, but it's mainly because of the setup on the car, because it has the 8-tooth pinion. The 8-tooth pinion is not the correct pinion really to use on this car. I probably would not use this setup, even though it's baseline. I would probably actually turn this down to 0.45 or so if I was using this. But let's just see what I can do with this. Muscling it around here. I can tell you that I would not want to run this full boring race, but you can see it's got a little bit of oscillation. It definitely will not allow me to oversteer the car. Lost a ton of time with that looseness, or induced looseness. And that one. Yeah, I definitely would not run this strength level, not with these settings. Let me actually change the pinion like it's supposed to be. Let's see. 6 tooth. Done. Test. Okay. I don't know if the fixed setup races let you change that. Hopefully it does, because that is one of the keys. That actually reduces the at the wheel forces by probably about 20%. And my guess is the VRS set to use that pinion. I'd be surprised if they use the 8, because in real life IndyCar drivers use 6 tooth on road courses. They don't use 8 tooth. And that's coming from IndyCar drivers I know. Still pretty heavy though with the 0.6 to 1. And I'm not fast by any means in this car. And I know guys are quite a bit faster than I ever will be in this. Could probably actually float through there in 5th gear and be faster. Oops, went a little too deep. Kind of offline there. Yeah, I should have gone down to 2nd gear. Lost a bit of time. I was 3/10 slower than my fastest lap. That was the fastest last sector. Yeah, 5th gear is definitely the way to go, as you can see by the relative. One gear too high through there, costing a lot of time. Again, overshoot that corner. And because of that, turn too much and around I went. Anyway, let's see, let's do one more thing. Let's just turn this down to about, let's see, 0.6, 40, 50 is about 0.4 to 1. Yeah, that is 0.4 to 1. Done. Let's put this back to 8.2 because that's what you're running. And let's just see what I can do with this. Turn the notes in the right direction. These are with my settings on it, which are a little bit less rough than what the settings are that you have on it. This is probably more of where I'd actually race with on this car. This is one of the only cars that I changed my strength ratio on now, because it is a beast. That is always a tricky corner. Oh man, I wish I didn't hit that. And try and get too greedy with the throttle in that particular corner. You're almost always going to loop it on colder tires. In any case, the settings that you have don't feel bad. I mean, granted, I was accidentally using the Legacy 4 smoothing as opposed to optimal. I find the Legacy is a little bit nicer to use. They're a little more consistent as far as the smoothing goes. I think the fact is that they don't have secondary filtering in them. They're just a smoothing interpolation filter. So they don't try and do anything weird, per se. So they allow just a little bit more roughness and stuff to come through, and I totally missed that corner. But then goes for a slap out full tire, so. I feel like it's getting darker out here. Indy cars don't have lights. Pick that pump again. A little nicer to the throttle off of that because I don't want to spin it. Okay, that was weird. The sound cut out for a second. That's okay. not long enough to affect me that much. Although I did lift off the gas a tiny bit. We got a little bit loose there. Lost a half a second. Actually more, because I was actually up by quite a bit. That was 4/10 slower. Probably lost 2/10 on the straight. Yeah, didn't get through there very well. Tires are warmed more sufficiently this time. A little nicer to the throttle through here. I wasn't even at full throttle most of that. Again, lost a little time through there. That's my nemesis corner at this track. Never hit that right. Kind of sucks. Can't go. It's 0.16 off there. The funny thing is, in this area where I could actually feel what the car is doing, I'm actually fairly quick. It's the other areas. Whoops. Okay, messed that up. I was 4/10 up at that point, but anyway, I think you get the idea of strength and what it causes. The settings that you have are actually pretty decent. If you like them, I wouldn't change them, but I would up the strength. Anyway, I think that about covers it.